Welcome to the graduation ceremony for Non-Commissioned Officer Academy Class 21-1. I am Technical Sergeant Frederick Gambrell, your Master of Ceremony for today's celebration. We are pleased to have with us today the host for today's ceremony, the 673rd Air Base Wing Commander, Col Kirsten Aguilar. Also joining us, the 673rd Air Base Wing Command Chief, Chief Master Sergeant Lee Mills. And finally, the Elmendorf Professional Military Education Center Commandant, Chief Master Sergeant Ernest Dinolfo. And now, to open our ceremony, Chief Mills, will you please provide opening comments?
Hello, Class 21-1, and congratulations. This is another milestone in your career that you should be proud of. Now, I wish I could be there to celebrate it with you, but obviously, we're facing some challenging times right now. And as you step back into your organizations with these additional leadership skills that you've received during this class, I hope that you apply those to the challenges that we're facing. While you do that, I also hope you realize that during your time here, it was a reinforcement that leadership is a team sport, and that you've built some relationships with your classmates, whether it was virtually or when you were in person, that will help you to better lead, supervise, and help your airmen moving forward. As we move through these times of COVID and what's going to happen next, we as leaders are challenged to help our airmen understand what we're doing, why we're doing it, and what it can look like on the other side. Because our enemies haven't slowed down. They are continuing to monitor, watch us, and try to figure out where our weaknesses are. And only through solid leadership will we be able to combat what they're trying to do to us and to our allies. So as you step back into your roles as frontline supervisors, technical experts, taking on the daily challenges, being the backbone of this wing and this organization, understand that it's your airmen, those that you're supervising, that have to pick up where you leave off. So as you step back out there, just take everything that you've got from your instructors. We have an amazing cadre, and I know they've given you a lot more tools. Some of them are refreshers, but as I always say, I always try to get a golden nugget every time that I've gone to a PME. I may hear some of the same things, some things that maybe I forgot from my time when I was in ALS, but there's always something in there that's like, yes, I can apply that to this airman, to this situation, to this challenge. So I encourage you to do that. I encourage you to celebrate with your family, with your smaller cohort in this environment as you graduate from NCOA, and to just celebrate the fact that you've passed yet another milestone in your career that you should be proud of, and understand that we at this wing and the whole of Joint Base Elmendorf are proud of you and looking forward to you leading us to the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Mills, for those encouraging words of wisdom for Class 21-1 and all of us here today. The Non-Commissioned Officer Academy is a milestone in an NCO's career. It builds upon what students already know as frontline supervisors while adding a focus on how we, as leaders and followers, impact the teams around us. It gives students tools that will help them be more adaptable leaders, meaning they are able to change their style to what is needed for the situation, even in complex and ambiguous environments. This graduation event is the final step in their short but demanding journey. It is time to recognize the class for their perseverance and determination while completing our hybrid course, starting with Raptor Flight.
Good morning. I'm Technical Sergeant Dalvin Adams, instructor for Raptor Flight. I am pleased to introduce Raptor Flight Leader from the 732nd Air Mobility Squadron, Technical Sergeant Joseph Hollis. From the 3rd Maintenance Squadron, Technical Sergeant Katie Avery. From the 3rd Wing, Technical Sergeant Troy Bledsoe. From the 354th Logistic Readiness Squadron, Technical Sergeant Christine Broderick. From the 301st Intelligence Squadron, Technical Sergeant Brandon Fleming. From the 354th Maintenance Squadron, Technical Sergeant Wayne Frick. From the 354th Aircraft Maintenance Squadron, Technical Sergeant Patrick Glenn. From the 773rd Civil Engineer Squadron, Technical Sergeant Austin Myers. From the 3rd Maintenance Group, Technical Sergeant Nicholas Seitz. And finally, from the 354th Maintenance Group, Technical Sergeant Marcus Williams.
Raptor Flight, the time has come. Our 6 weeks has expired. But I must say, it has been a straight privilege and honor to be you all instructor through the duration of this course. But before I leave, I challenge each and every one of you to take the things that we've learned, the tools that we've added to our toolbox, and apply them in the most effective way possible. And before I go, our favorite quote from Raptor Flight class: "The power of we is so much stronger than me." Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Technical Sergeant John Reed, instructor for Falcon Flight. I am pleased to introduce Falcon's flight leader from the 354th Aircraft Maintenance Squadron, Technical Sergeant Matthew Ruggiero. From the 3rd Aircraft Maintenance Squadron, Technical Sergeant Marshall Braswell. From the 673rd Security Forces Squadron, Technical Sergeant Lance Brennan. From the 381st Intelligence Squadron, Staff Sergeant Hayden Howland. From the 354th Logistics Readiness Squadron, Technical Sergeant Ryan Lewis Turk. From the 3rd Aircraft Maintenance Squadron, Technical Sergeant Jermaine McCarn. From the 673rd Surgical Operations Squadron, Technical Sergeant Allison Meany. From the 703rd Aircraft Maintenance Squadron, Technical Sergeant Sean Peck. And finally, from the 373rd Intelligence, Surveillance, and Reconnaissance Group, Staff Sergeant Paul Steinke. Falcon Flight 21-1. I just want to say thank you for all the fun times. We've all learned a lot, but as always, you guys have taught me more than I've taught you. We've laughed a lot, and we faced a lot of challenges. More importantly, though, I want to leave you with one final challenge. Remember that when you leave here, you need to apply what you've learned, accelerate that change. More importantly, put in the effort. We know that you get what you give, and it's time to get after it. So Falcon Flight, I want to just say thank you and use what you've learned.
Good morning. I am Technical Sergeant Nicole Drury, instructor for Globemaster Flight. I am pleased to introduce Globemaster's flight leader from the 3rd Munitions Squadron, Technical Sergeant Tyler DeMock. From the 354th Civil Engineer Squadron, Technical Sergeant Michael Bjorn. From the 673rd Civil Engineer Squadron, Technical Sergeant Joseph Dempsey. From the 517th Airlift Squadron, Staff Sergeant Cody Duranick. From the 354th Force Support Squadron, Technical Sergeant Rachel Dillon. From the 732nd Air Mobility Squadron, Technical Sergeant Andrew Harris. From the 354th Aircraft Maintenance Squadron, Technical Sergeant Davin Jorgensen. From the 773rd Civil Engineer Squadron, Technical Sergeant Sammy Loiza. From the United States Coast Guard, Sector Anchorage, Petty Officer First Class Nicole Rice. And finally, from the 773rd Logistics Readiness Squadron, Technical Sergeant Christopher Williams. Hey Globemaster Flight, I have a farewell message for you. Even though we had to operate in a hybrid environment, we faced the challenges head on and decided to just let it go. We went into the unknown together and figured out a way to go the distance. Remember that we are all in this together, and find ways to engage the cognitive domain so that way you're willing to act and make those changes that need to be done. The Air Force and the world needs good people, so remember to be contagious in a good way.
Good morning, I'm Technical Sergeant Aaron Fisher, Substitute Instructor for Eagle Flight. I am pleased to introduce Eagle's flight leader from the 381st Intelligence Squadron, Technical Sergeant Michael Marty. From the 354th Operational Medical Readiness Squadron, Technical Sergeant Morgan Doherty. From the 3rd Munitions Squadron, Technical Sergeant Eric Gilvin. From the 3rd Aircraft Maintenance Squadron, Technical Sergeant Joshua Granger. From the 3rd Aircraft Maintenance Squadron, Technical Sergeant Robert Matuska. From the 3rd Aircraft Maintenance Squadron, Technical Sergeant Lucas Messer. From the 673rd Force Support Squadron, Technical Sergeant Megan Rogers. From the 354th Aircraft Maintenance Squadron, Technical Sergeant Cameron Swigert. From the 354th Aircraft Maintenance Squadron, Technical Sergeant Justin Torrey. And finally, from the 354th Logistics Readiness Squadron, Technical Sergeant Stephen Zolnerzak. Eagle Flight, thank you so much. Even though I was your substitute instructor, you guys made each and every day count. and gave it your all, and I really appreciate that. I know we had a lot of restrictions with COVID, but you never complained, and you came in every day and gave it all you had. Good luck in all of your future endeavors, and I appreciate you all.
Good morning. I'm Technical Sergeant Charles Davis, instructor for Hercules Flight. I'm pleased to introduce Hercules Flight Leader from the 3rd Aircraft Maintenance Squadron, Technical Sergeant Sean Whitfield. From the 354th Aircraft Maintenance Squadron, Technical Sergeant Nicholas Gardner. From the 3rd Aircraft Maintenance Squadron, Technical Sergeant James Hadaway. From the 3rd Operations Support Squadron, Technical Sergeant William Hegman. From the 673rd Operational Medical Readiness Squadron, Technical Sergeant Jacqueline Hammock. From the 703rd Aircraft Maintenance Squadron, Technical Sergeant Brandon Henry. From the 3rd Maintenance Squadron, Technical Sergeant Vincent Herrera. From Detachment 3, 1st Weather Squadron, Technical Sergeant Eric Yeager. From the 962nd Airborne Air Control Squadron, Technical Sergeant Jakia Lionheart. From the 3rd Operations Support Squadron, Technical Sergeant Michael Pichano. From the 3rd Maintenance Group, Technical Sergeant Ryan Scott. Hercules Flight, thank you for being a phenomenal first class. I appreciated my time with you. Good luck in all your future endeavors. Thank you.
Good morning. I am Technical Sergeant Daniel Luritzen, instructor for Sentry Flight. I am pleased to introduce Sentry's Flight Leader. From the 3rd Operations Squadron, Technical Sergeant Alex Riley. From the 354th Logistics Readiness Squadron, Staff Sergeant Gabriel Diaz. From the United States Coast Guard Sector Anchorage, Petty Officer Monty Ford. From the 673rd Air Base Wing, Technical Sergeant Chester Hornberger. From the 354th Logistics Readiness Squadron, Technical Sergeant Christopher Kaczynski. From the 354th Force Support Squadron, Technical Sergeant Erica Miller. From the 3rd Aircraft Maintenance Squadron, Technical Sergeant Ryan Olenichek. From the 673rd Air Base Wing, Technical Sergeant Andy Palomares. And finally, from the 732nd Air Mobility Squadron, Technical Sergeant Elizer Santiago. Sentry Flight, where to begin? Thank you for all your hard work and dedication throughout this NCOA. I'm so grateful to have all 9 of you in my flight. Now it's time to take what we've learned together and take it to the real world. So with that, good luck to you.
Good morning, I am Technical Sergeant Taylor Hunter, instructor for Pave Flight. I am pleased to introduce Pave Flight Leader from the 301st Intelligence Squadron, Technical Sergeant Hannah Robbins. From the 3rd Maintenance Group, Technical Sergeant James Glass. From the 354th Civil Engineer Squadron, Technical Sergeant Bradley Hoynes. From the 962nd Airborne Air Control Squadron, Technical Sergeant Anthony Jaramillo. From the 703rd Aircraft Maintenance Squadron, Technical Sergeant Matthew Jones. From the 354th Aircraft Maintenance Squadron, Technical Sergeant Levi Pratt. From the 673rd Operational Medical Readiness Squadron, Technical Sergeant Devin Skinner. From the 354th Aircraft Maintenance Squadron, Technical Sergeant Matthew Thompson. From the 611th Civil Engineer Squadron, Technical Sergeant Andrew Van Cleve. And finally, from the 354th Logistics Readiness Squadron, Technical Sergeant Shane Zittel. Hey Pave Flight, I just wanted to express my gratitude and say thank you for being a really great, awesome first NCOA class for me. I know that I had a lot of dad jokes in there, and I also wanted to say thank you for laughing at my dad jokes to a few of you that did. You know who you are. I also wanted to say thank you for all of the knowledge and different perspectives you provided me, and that I hope that you gain some knowledge and different perspectives too. So I just want to leave you with one last challenge. I want you to take everything that you've learned here at NCOA, all of the knowledge and different perspectives, and take it back to your unit and do some good. So be the change that you are wanting to see. Thank you.
Good morning. I am Master Sergeant Eric Frass, instructor for Lightning Flight. I am pleased to introduce Lightning's flight leader From the 703rd Aircraft Maintenance Squadron, Technical Sergeant Brandon King. From the 673rd Logistics Readiness Squadron, Technical Sergeant Adrian Cortez. From the 3rd Maintenance Squadron, Technical Sergeant Timothy Deerdorf. From the 3rd Munitions Squadron, Technical Sergeant Kyle Kriswicki. From the 773rd Civil Engineer Squadron, Technical Sergeant William Fox. From the 673rd Communications Squadron, Technical Sergeant Stephen Gavin. From the 354th Logistics Readiness Squadron, Technical Sergeant Kathleen Myers. From the 673rd Security Forces Squadron, Technical Sergeant Nicholas Ruttencutter. From Detachment 1, 3rd Air Support Operations Squadron, Technical Sergeant Ryan Shipman. And finally, from the 525 Fighter Squadron, Technical Sergeant Randy Williams. Lightning Flight, what can I say? First of all, I gotta say that I really appreciate you putting up with all of the craziness that comes with COVID. I know it sounds corny, I know it sounds a little cheesy, and I know you've heard it 16 times since you've been here, but as Chief Denolfo would say, COVID doesn't mean can't. And I appreciate you making sure that we can do the things that we need to do. Second, I want to say that I appreciate your energy. There were numerous conversations we had where I thought it was going to be lame, but you guys ended up just bringing out some kind of spark, some kind of something that just made it way better than I could have imagined it could be. And then finally, the memes. You guys thought that the meme war was gonna be lame, and you proved yourselves wrong, and you made the whole flight a meme. So with that said, again, thank you Lightning Flight, keep on memeing on.
Thank you, instructors, and congratulations, graduates. Now on to the awards portion. The Non-Commissioned Officer Academy requires self-discipline, dedication, and sacrifice. All students should be very proud of their accomplishments. While the graduates can take pride in having met the rigorous demands of this course, some students have distinguished themselves by going above and beyond in both academics and leadership to earn special acknowledgement. At this time, we would like to recognize these individuals. The Distinguished Graduate Award is presented to students whose efforts put them at the front of their peer group. These students displayed effective teamwork, academic excellence, and spirited leadership. They rank in the top 10% of the class. Senior Master Sergeant Fitzpatrick, would you please announce the recipients?
The distinguished graduates from Non-Commissioned Officer Academy Class 21-1 are from the 703rd Aircraft Maintenance Squadron, Technical Sergeant Brandon King. From the 301st Intelligence Squadron, Technical Sergeant Brandon Fleming. From the 732nd Air Mobility Squadron, Technical Sergeant Joseph Hollis. From the 3rd Munitions Squadron, Technical Sergeant Tyler Dimmick. From the 354th Aircraft Maintenance Squadron, Technical Sergeant Nicholas Gardner. From the 3rd Operations Squadron, Technical Sergeant Alex Riley. From the 673rd Operational Medical Readiness Squadron, Technical Sergeant Devin Skinner.
Congratulations to all of our distinguished graduates. Our next award, the Academic Achievement Award, denotes excellence as a scholar. It is presented to the graduate who has demonstrated his or her dedication to educational excellence by maintaining the highest academic average throughout the course. Senior Fitzpatrick, would you please announce the recipient?
The Academic Achievement Award recipient is from the 673rd Operational Medical Readiness Squadron, Technical Sergeant Devin Skinner.
Congratulations, Technical Sergeant Skinner, and thank you, Senior Fitzpatrick. Our next award is the Commandant's Leadership Award and is sponsored by the Arctic Warrior Top 3. Commandant nominees are those who, in the judgment of their peers, the instructor faculty, and the Commandant, demonstrated the highest degree of leadership, positive attitude, teamwork, and professionalism. Presented here are the Commandant Award nominees. Chief Dinolfo, would you please announce the recipient?
Class 21-1, your Commandant Leadership Award recipient is from the 354th Aircraft Maintenance Squadron, Technical Sergeant Nicholas Gardner.
Congratulations, Technical Sergeant Gardner. The final award we will present is the John L. Levito Award. It is named in honor of the most junior ranking airman presented with the Medal of Honor. In addition to being in the top 10% of distinguished graduates, this award is the highest honor earned by an enlisted professional military education graduate. This award is presented to the airmen whose actions, through their leadership, teamwork, academic excellence, and dignified behavior, reflect the significance of John L. Levito's selfless act. Chief Dinolfo, will you please announce the recipient?
Class, the John L. Levito Award recipient is from the 673rd Force Support Squadron, Technical Sergeant Megan Rogers.
Congratulations, Technical Sergeant Rogers, and to all of the award recipients. And now, Chief Dinolfo, will you please provide your final message to the class for today's ceremony?
Class 21-1, congratulations on your successful completion of NCOA, the second level of enlisted PME, designed to prepare you as professionals who can manage and lead units in the employment of air and space power. You should be very proud of this accomplishment. Professionals, you have not only completed a career milestone, but you have also helped the Elmendorf PME Center of Excellence accomplish a huge task, being a part of a new curriculum deployment and our first virtual in-residence hybrid NCOA course. There may have been a few hurdles along the way, but you and my staff remained flexible and kept on moving forward. So thank you for helping us pave the way for future classes. I said it at the beginning of the course, and I'll say it again. You have proven that COVID doesn't equal can, and helped us safely and successfully make your NCOA a positive, memorable experience. Hopefully, you reflected on how unique you all are, as humans and as airmen. Your diversity, drive, talent, and commitment make us the greatest Air Force in the world. Take the skills you learned back to your units. Grow as airmen, grow as supervisors, and managers of your teams. Think about your role and how what you and your airmen do align with the commander's priorities to positively impact the bigger picture of fly, fight, and win. Take advantage of the connections you made. Never stop networking and using each other by leveraging your individual experiences and diversity of thought. And empower airmen to solve problems to ensure we continue to accelerate change so that we don't lose. Class, please thank your peers, supervisors, and unit leadership for their support in allowing you the opportunity to step away from your work centers for the past 6 weeks. And thank your families on my behalf for their patience and understanding while allowing you to focus on your development. I'd like to thank our command team. Chief Mills, we appreciate your opening remarks to kick off this graduation. And Colonel Aguilar, we look forward to hearing your message shortly. But thank you for your support to ensure our PME mission to educate and develop enlisted leaders remains enduring. And finally, thanks to my amazing cadre of instructors, my wingmen, for epitomizing excellence and bringing it 100% for you each and every day. NCOA Class 21-1, congratulations once again. You came in to learn, now out to serve. Get after it and lead them.
Thank you, Chief Dinolfo, for your inspiring message. Colonel Aguilar, would you like to provide the class some final remarks for today's graduation?
Greetings, NCOA Class 21-1. Congratulations on your graduation. I'm Col Kirsten Aguilar, the Joint Base Commander and 673rd Air Base Wing Commander, and I just want to take a few moments and congratulate you on your accomplishment. I also want to talk with you about a couple of things that I charge you with as you move forward and go back out into your units, taking all that you've learned while you've been at NCOA and applying it in your formations. And I know that this is a joint class and we have some Coast Guardies with us, and so congratulations to our Coasties for completing NCOA with the Air Force and doing that sister service PME. But really what I want to talk about is just three things with you today. First, I want to encourage you to not marginalize the amount of influence that you have. Chief of Staff of the Air Force, General Brown, said that the single most influential person in our Air Force today is the frontline supervisor, and that's you. And so I encourage you, as you go back out into your units, take what you've learned while you've been at NCOA. Not only the formal education, but the conversations that you've been able to have with your classmates, and look at ways that you can influence not only the folks that you supervise, but your peers, but also your superiors. You as an NCO, you are the heartbeat of our Air Force. I like to say that NCOs and CGOs make the Air Force go, and that really is what I believe is what makes the Air Force go. And so I encourage you, don't lose sight of the power of influence that you have as an NCO, particularly as a frontline supervisor. The second thing that I want to charge you with is to be bold leaders. It's a very challenging time in our Air Force right now, but it's also a very exciting time. There's a lot of transformation that's happening. Again, our Chief of Staff, General Brown, has said we're going to accelerate change or we're going to lose. And so there's a lot of things moving, and you are a big part of that. So I encourage you, be bold leaders. Be bold enough to be the person in the room to say, hey, let's have that difficult conversation. Let's talk about the things that are on your mind. Because we're not going to be able to accelerate change if we don't first start with having conversations. And yes, sometimes those are difficult conversations. But as the change agent that we need you to be the one to set the professional tone for those discussions. We need you to be the one to create those environments where people feel valued, respected, and included. And the last thing that I want to leave you with is treat every day like it's the Super Bowl. Those of you who know me know that I love sports and I love football. And as we gear up for another Super Bowl, what I encourage you to do is treat every day like it is a game that you're going to play to win. And that starts by how you get up in the morning. Put your mind in the right perspective. Even on those days when it's tough to get out of bed, I encourage you to dig deep because people are relying on you. They're relying on you to be technical experts. They're also relying on you to be having the ability to see through and find out what's happening out there in the unit, but more importantly, what's happening out there with your personnel. And that's not just your airmen. That's your civilian teammates, and that's your officer teammates. And as NCOs, you play a key role in the development of our young officers. That young officer that's in your unit today, that may be a future squadron commander, future wing commander someday. And you need to understand the power that you have in influencing them as well. So I encourage you, live every day like it's the Super Bowl. Go out there, be your best, even on those days, like I said, when it's hard and you gotta dig deep. But I can't be more proud of you. You have demonstrated what we have been saying the entire time that I have been here, and that is COVID doesn't equal can't. We found a way for you to get through NCO Academy, make it through your course of learning, and get to graduation. And we did that in a safe and responsible manner without major disruptions. Even though COVID is out there, you figured out a way to make it through. So I applaud all of you for being responsible and enabling us to do that in a safe manner. Congratulations again on your achievement. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of this day, and go out there and be great supervisors, be great teammates, and be great airmen, great coasties. Thanks, congratulations.
Thank you, Colonel Aguilar, for sharing your words of wisdom with NCOA Class 21-1. On behalf of the Elmendorf Professional Military Education Center of Excellence, thank you to the 673rd Air Base Wing Public Affairs team for their production efforts with the ceremony. Congratulations to all of our graduates. Stay safe out there, but most of all remember, you came in to learn and you go out to serve. Have a great day.